Right, and welcome to the brief. We are here at the Oil and Gas Conference 2025, and with me is none other than the CEO of Rhino Resources, Mr. Travis Smithard. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Case. It's lovely to be here.
So let's speak about Rhino Resources, right? And let's talk about give us a brief overview into Rhino Resources, what they do in this market as well as in other markets.
Excellent. So Rhino Resources is a group of companies. We've got operations obviously here in Namibia. We operate PEL 85 alongside our partners, Cores, who's our local partner in Namibia. We've got Nancor, the state-owned oil company, and we've also got Azule Energy at an equal participating interest to us in the block. So I think what's really interesting for us is, we have Namibia as a specific focus on our oil and gas business, but we also have businesses in South Africa looking at biogenic gas and helium. So a slightly different mixture, if you will, of commodity types, really trying to unlock natural biogenic gas in the South African market for gas to power and LNG.
Okay. So, Travis, obviously to our viewers watching us in Namibia, it's quite important for them to find out what exactly Rhino is doing insofar as exploration in this territory.
Yeah, so right now, I think we're the only company drilling in Namibia at the moment. So we're drilling with the Deep Sea Mirror. It's a semi-submersible owned by Northern Ocean. We're drilling the Valance 1X well. It's an exploration well. It's quite, I'd say, quite interesting from a geological perspective because we've drilled in the north of our block at Sagittarius 1X. We made a discovery of hydrocarbon back in February. And now we've drilled Capricornus very recently and made the discovery in April, and then flow tested that well very successfully. So I think what's interesting about Valance is sort of smack bang between the two. And because it's exploration, we're a bit excited about what we find in this well, because it looks like it'll be different to the last two.
Okay, so now what will these, exploration activities, how are they going to affect the next phase of your operations?
I think, as a company, we are definitively data-driven. So, we are planning for success. We're planning for more exploration wells and obviously in time appraisal wells. I think it's really important for us as a company with integrity to be able to say Namibia is still frontier in some regards. The basin is still highly complex. I think finding oil seems to be something that companies either find in great reservoirs or in less great reservoirs. And so we are still very much in the de-risking game. So, from our perspective, there is a tantamount pressure from ourselves to push forward at pace, but making sure that these decisions are made on data and not on hype.
Okay, so Travis, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I have to ask, how much have you invested in Namibia so far, and how much are you planning to unlock in terms of investment?
It's a great question. I think we've considerably invested in Namibia, hundreds of millions of US dollars on the drilling of the wells. But I think more importantly, Casey, really for us is how we invested in the human capital. And you'll hear me speak about this tomorrow in the speech, but really it's our imperative, I'd say, as a good corporate citizen to make sure that our exploration dollars are being spent coeval with our social investment. And I'm not just talking about CSR. I'm not just talking about, sort of having a tick box exercise on local content. I'm actually talking about how do we meaningfully engage the Namibian populace and make sure that with our exploration opportunities, that they come to the fore and actually can meaningfully participate. So, from our perspective, it's, yes, we are an exploration company. Yes, we are spending exploration dollars. But how do we make sure that Namibians meaningfully participate where they're qualified and able to do so?
So speaking of Namibians, we have to talk about legislation. Obviously, it's part and parcel. And how do you think the legislation in Namibia affects your operations? And if you were to give us a comparative analysis to legislation that you face in other markets?
Yes, I think the regulatory framework is well defined in Namibia. I think the Namibian government is clearly trying to draw from experiences from other jurisdictions, making sure that they learn the lessons that need to be learned and make sure that they replicate those that are favorable to investment and the investment climate into the country, and obviously making sure that they stay away from those that have been hindrances maybe to investment. I think, in comparison to other jurisdictions, the local content policy is something that is in the works. I'm sure you know that. I think it's a very deliberate sort of framework that the government are trying to put in place for meaningful participation for Namibians. And I think, I was involved in a wonderful panel, well, not involved in the panel, but listening to a panel earlier, where it was made very, very clear that, making sure that you have the right policy framework in place that enables investment as a positive investment environment, but at the same time make sure that you are hitting those goals is a challenge, right? And I think the Namibian government are up for the challenge. I think they are certainly making the right strides. And yeah, we look forward to seeing the policy framework come out in the coming months.
Okay, you spoke about local content, and obviously that is something near and dear to the hearts of many, especially locally. Tell us, what role do local partnerships and Namibian expertise play in your exploration strategy?
So I think, to be very honest with you, we wouldn't have been able to drill our exploration wells without having partnered with local Namibians, right? I think from everything from logistics, aviation, there's Namibian expertise in country that allows us to get the projects off the ground. So yes, there are specific, highly specialized skill sets that we need to bring in from outside. This is a nascent industry. We need to accept that. But I think there's a very good broad base of Namibian goods and services that companies like ourselves can actually leverage. One of the sort of hallmarks, I'd say, of our success is when we partnered with Halliburton for the drilling of our wells. We had a very deliberate discussion around, can we make sure that we maximize the Namibian participation in these wells? And Halliburton, to their credit, took up the challenge. And we've actually now successfully pulled off the only wells in Namibia that have been led by Namibian infrastructure. So, LMP and cementing coming from Namibia for Namibian infrastructure is quite remarkable.
That's really good to hear, Travis. I mean, now we have to look ahead and look into our crystal balls, if you bet. What are your expectations for the commercial viability of your operations in Namibia?
Yeah, commerciality is a sort of buzzword that seems to be on everybody's lips at this time. I think the drilling of Valence for us is a very clear message of intent, right? We drilled Sagittarius. We'd actually pivoted from drilling Valence to then drilling Capricornus. And on the back of Capricornus' success, we've actually gone back to drilling Valence. So I think from our perspective, we are still very interested. We still think that there is a high prospectivity for Namibian commerciality. I just think that as a company, we also just make sure that we are making data-driven decisions, right? So we will continue to explore. There is optimism within our JV company that obviously includes Namcor, Chorus, and Azule. We are still very excited about the block, excited about the prospectivity. So we will continue to invest in that and at the appropriate time appraise the reservoirs that we found and make sure that we make those commercial declarations as soon as we can.
All right. Very overall, I must say, quite a positive outlook. And with that, I'd like to draw close to this interview. Thank you so much, Travis, for coming to speak to us and giving us a part of your day, which I'm sure is a pretty full and packed. We are here at the Oil and Gas Conference, obviously, 2025, and it really is quite busy. So that with me, ladies and gentlemen, was Mr. Travis Smithard, the CEO of Rhino Resources. Until the next time.